Hello everyone, Ben here with a solo game of Bora Bora. So this is another Dale Buonocore variant, reasonably simple. The AI is basically just going to block off actions, and then occasionally, depending on the action or a couple of actions it can affect, it might change some states on the board. But apart from that, not a whole lot. It just basically blocks off the actions and prevents you possibly from doing certain things. And your job is to sort of score as many points as you reasonably can, and then try and better your score through subsequent games, ideally. So we'll see how it plays. The setup is as per a two-player game. So we have the 5 action tiles for a two-player game instead of 6 or 7. We have 4 task tiles for a two-player game instead of 5 or 6. And everything else has been already set up. So we've got starting hut location. So basically you can see these lovely fish around the board. They are different numbers of points. So when you start the game in a setup, you are tasked in reverse player order to put out your hut on a 1 fish spot wherever you like. And then we've drawn some god cards, and we have the 2 offerings and the starting resource from where we placed our hut. And that is pretty much it. Oh, and the starting task tiles that we get. So we get a 1 sort of beginner task tile, and then 2 from the normal set. And that is it. So basically we need to roll the dice now. So 3, 4 and a 5, and the AI also rolls, and it's going to get 3, 5 and a 6. Okay. So we are first player to go first. This may change throughout the game. The AI does have an option it can do which will gain it points towards becoming a first player. So we'll see how that works possibly. Well, hopefully not. We like being first. And basically, as first player, we need to start putting out dice for actions. So, looking at the tasks we've got, these 2 I don't think are doable just yet. So basically you need 2 red god cards or 2 yellow god cards. We have neither of either colour. So yeah, not doable just yet. At least not without some significant effort. This one is more likely. So basically you need a priest and you need to have hired 1 guy. So yeah, priests are always good. They give you good bonuses, and hiring people is always nice because you can get benefits from them later on. So if we use a 5, I'd like to have a 6. We don't have a 6 unfortunately. So yeah, we'll go with a 5 and we'll hire a person. So basically the number on the die corresponds to the level of which you can hire, and similar things for moving around the board and grabbing pre-slots. So a 5 die means you can basically hire from the 5th spot downwards. Obviously you can't go higher than that, but we certainly can go lower. So we could get, what else have we got? A 3 and a 4, so we could move overland, in which case we might want to try that one. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So we'll do that, at least to start with. So this guy allows us to build parts of our temple up to number 3. So that's perfectly reasonable for the moment, if all goes according to plan, which of course it may very well not. Now we have the AI, so the AI will grab its highest value die, in which case it's a 6, and then these are nominally labelled 1 to 5, so in your head 1 to 5, and you basically roll a d6, and it is a 6, which is no good. It is a 4. So option 4 will be that one. So it will place its value 6 die on option 4 and simply occupy the action. So that's fine. That's just an occupying action. It doesn't actually do anything when it comes here, so that's fine. Which leaves us with 3 and a 4. So we did want to get a priest out. And right, so we may as well do the priest now. We've still got the available option. So we'll come here with the number 4, which will allow us to put a priest out over there. So priests are useful for end of round points, as well as acquiring these very handy god tiles. And at the moment, though, they give us a fire bonus, and you can see on the board, the player board, which has a very nice donation of what the various cards can do for you. Fire bonuses give you another card or an offering, plus a tattoo or a shell. So I think we'll go for probably another offering, simply because the available task tiles we've got next round, which are going to come up, one of them wants you to have 4 offerings. So if we go for that one maybe, and we've already got 3 of the 4 we need, then that will be pretty handy to get. Hopefully, anyway. So we've got our offering, and we also need to get a tattoo or a shell. Probably a shell. Shells are nice for buying jewellery, or trading for jewellery anyway. So we'll grab ourselves a shell and turn that into points, hopefully, when we get some jewellery. So that was our option. AI is going to grab its number 5, and it's going to go to the level 3 spot, which is going to be... So it can't go here, unfortunately. So yes, normally the level 3 option would be hiring a person. Can't hire a person simply because we have a 5 there already. So when you come to an option, you can only place your die if it is lower than all the other dice in the available option. So not there, unfortunately. There are cards which can change this, but the AI isn't playing with cards, so it's going to have to move along and come here. And it can do that because its 6 is higher than its 5, so that's perfectly fine. You can have multiple dice of your colour in a particular option. You're not limited to just one, so that's fine. So that was the AI turn. We need to go with our 3, probably moving now. So if we come along and we start getting our huts out onto the board, then we've got a level 3, so we can move a space which is basically a 3 value. So either along this land space up here, or along this water space down here. This water space is a 4, unfortunately, and you can only move where you already have a hut placed. So we'll move up north along the level 3 there, and we'll grab ourselves a wood for that space, which we can now combo with this temple building tile, or person. So that's pretty good. And then the AI is going to do its final action, which is going to be 3, and it can place it there. Right. So this is one of the options the AI does which affects stuff on the board. So hiring persons, it will roll a dice first to check to see whether it's going to go for a man or a woman, basically. So 1 to 3 is man, 4, 5, 6 is woman. So it's a 3 in this case. So it goes to the number that it picked on the die, or the number that was rolled for it on the die, and it will grab that particular person on that level. So man or woman, in this case it's a man, it's number 3. If this is not available, it will go down the row until it can find someone it can take. If there are no persons available on the row for which you've selected with the D6, it will swap to the opposite gender and try and take them instead. So basically in this case it was very simple, it just grabbed the guy in space number 3. So he is out of the game. However, because it was a man, the AI gets to do the tattoo part of the tile. So in this case, it will give itself 3 tattoo spaces. So 1, 2, 3, which isn't going to matter for points because the AI doesn't get any points. However, it is going to matter for first place because the person who is rightmost on the tattoo track and top, if there's a stack, will become first player. So turn order is basically determined by rightmost marker and then topmost marker. So that is going to mean that we're going second next round, and it's also going to mean the AI will take off a random choice of task tiles and jewelry tiles. Oh dear. Well, there's not much we can do about that now. Yeah, there is precisely nothing we can do about that now. Okay, fine. Well, we'll just have to live with it. Right, which means everyone's used their actions. So us and the AI have all done our actions. So now we come to a bit of bonus stuff and then cleanup. So you can see on the main board there is a handy player aid to show what the various steps are. This game is particularly good with iconography and helping you determine what you're supposed to be doing. So we've done our actions for phase A. Phase B is activating persons. So we do have a man we can activate. So you can activate one man and one woman, or multiples of the same type of man and woman together. So if we had two of these guys who are building temple tiles, we could build a temple of level 6. Well, we've only got the one, so we can just build a temple of level 3, which is exactly what we're going to do because we have the two resources side by side to do it. So you basically take your appropriate level, flip it over, and apply it to the particular resource area where these were situated. So they come off, and now you get more stuff, more bonuses. So the little flower symbol is points. So we can see that in the first 2 rounds, priests are worth 1 point, temple tiles are worth 10. And then these shift in value as you go along through the rounds. So we are going to get ourselves 10 points for building that temple tile. Okay. And then also we get a fire bonus. So again, our choice of a card or an offering. Well, we're going to go for the offering again. So we've got these 4 that we need in case we get that task tile. And then our choice of either a tattoo or a shell, or we'll go for another shell, since tattoo is not going to help us too much at this point. And that was our temple tile all done. So now we've done activating people, we come to tattoos. So you get points for tattoos based on the level where you are. Well, we haven't got any, so we're not going to get any points. And then you rearrange turn order based on tattoos. So the markers come back, and they come back left to right, bottom to top. So we are going to get no points, and we're going to come back first, and then the AI is going to get 2 points. Well, it doesn't get any points, but it is going to come back second and place its marker on top of ours, which means it is now technically first, and we are technically last, which could mess things up. So that was tattoos. Now we come to priests. So we do have 1 priest, and that simply gets us 1 point. So a point per priest. And also the god tile. So the person with the most priests in the temple will get the tile. If there is a tie, the person whose priests are higher up will get the tile. So in this case, we're the only one with a priest, so we get the tile. Which are nice. These are wild card god cards. So they're basically a card and an offering all in one, so you can use them just to do anything you like, basically. However, if you get to keep them till the end of the game, they are worth 2 bonus points at the end. So a bit of a trade-off between getting points or making use of a special ability, basically. And now we come to jewelry. So this is a bit we're mildly worried about, because the AI going first is going to take off a random jewelry tile. And there is only one that we can possibly buy at the moment. So if it grabs the one that we want, we are out of luck. So 1 to 4 down the row. 5 is not an option. 3 is an option. So that one will come out for the AI, which means that we are now free to buy the one that we wanted. So that's going to cost 2 shells, and we'll just go on our map there, and we have the 2 shells to spend. So good. Jewelry is worth points at the end of the game. There are certain task tiles which want you to have varying numbers of same jewelry, and that's about it really. It is merely a vanity item. And then the AI is going to grab tasks. So it's tasks that you fulfill first. So the AI does not have any tasks to fulfill first, so it won't bother with that step. We, however, do have a task that we want to fulfill, which is this one. So you get, out of the 3, you basically pick one of them that you want to do. So we're going to do this one. And we are going to fulfill it in its entirety. There is the yellow god card, which allows you to skip out one of the objectives of a task tile, and you get less points for it. But we are going to do this in its entirety, which gives us 6 points. So we do have the guy on the priest track, we do have the man on our area here, so that's fine. That will come down to our successfully completed tasks area. And we grab ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points there. And then once you've finished doing the task bit, if you can't complete a task, you simply choose one to remove and you get no points for it. But once you have an available area, you then get to pick a new one to fill it with from this bit here. So again, the AI being first will grab the first one. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to be a 2, which is this one. So that one will go out, which is not the one that we were interested in, so that is fine. And then we get to take our pick, and obviously if you're playing a 3 or 4 player game, other players would get other choices. So we'll probably go for that one, because we have the 4 offerings. And we'll place it in our area here. So that is now something that we can then work towards next round, along with possibly these 2 at some point, maybe. Yeah. You can't ever get rid of task tiles except by just not completing them, basically. There is no option to swap them out if you decide that you can never complete one. You just are out of luck for getting points for it, basically. So that was task tiles, and then we do a bit of cleanup, and then we go into the new round. So we need to get rid of all of these. So all the man tiles come off, as well as all the female ones. So if there are any that were picked and you had your eye on them, hoping to get them next round, sadly you are out of luck, because they do not stick around, they simply get removed and are out of the game then. So I need to flip over some new ones. And the same happens with the tasks. Any that were not chosen for refilling a task area are simply removed, and then new ones come out. So again, if there were any tasks that you thought might combo well with ones you had already and you failed to get them first time round, well, unfortunately, you are out of luck and they will not come around again. So that is tasks. And then the same with the jewellery tiles. So you get one crack at buying a piece of jewellery and then it is gone. And then the new row of jewellery is available for next round. So priests stay where they are. They are, until they are nudged off by other people occupying the priest track, priests are an everlasting source of points, which is very handy. You get your dice back, and then you re-roll, and that will give you the available values that you have for next round, which in this case is not a great deal. Okay. Well, not a great deal for the AI either. Unfortunately, the AI is going first. So, die value number 6, and it's going to take up the number 2 spot. So that's fine. Which means we could move with that, but then what would we do with these 2? So as you can guess, one is very good for putting out and getting an action, because obviously it's the lowest number, so it has the highest chance of getting it in there, but once you get in there and you get that action, you are stuck with not a lot of choice. So that will probably be used to move over land. In which case, can we hire... Yes, we could hire a person with that one. Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll move over land with our 4, or over sea in this case. It is lower than the AI's dice, so we can do that. And we'll come here to there. And we'll grab ourselves a stone for occupying that space. Yep, that seems fine. Okay. We do need to have a look at what options the those are giving us. Right, so 4 guys in total. 2 people over water, 2 people who give you tattoos, and 4 temple tiles. We have 1 temple tile and 1 person and not a lot else. So actually it might be worth trying to grab one of these. Well, we're going to get this one done definitely. And then possibly work towards these ones. In which case we might try the... We might try the 4 temple tiles is probably a better option than either of those 2. Because we have no people with tattoos yet. There is one out, but they're not in a position that we can grab. We have no people going over water yet, and again there are no people whatsoever that allow us to go over water. So these 2 are not likely. This one is not likely. Possibly that one. So yeah, we'll try and work hard towards temple tiles then, I guess. Right, which means I've lost my train of thought. Okay, so we moved over land with that die. We got the relevant resource, so it is the AI's turn. So very simple, it's got 1 and a 1 to choose from, and it's going to occupy space number 1, which is fine. We weren't going to build a temple tile, so that's, yep, that's okay. We were going to hire a person, so we will hire this level, or this woman in space number 1, who allows us to move over land. Okay. Okay, and the AI is going to go to space... Where's my die gone to? There it is. Space number 3. So it can't occupy there, because we have blocked it with our lowest one. So it will simply move over to doing various actions. This is the kind of multi-use action area where you get to push down people to get bonuses, get some extra resources, and god cards and things like that. So it's not going to do anything once it goes there, it's just going to block off the space, which I think is fine. I don't believe we were going to go there. Well, we can't go there now anyway, which leaves us doing... we could put another priest out, so that's good for accumulating lots of points. That's about the only thing we can do, really, because we can't go there, because obviously that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1, and we can't move over any available spaces with a 1. So yeah, we are pretty much forced to go and put a priest out. So very simple action, pretty much chosen for us, which means we get more points in the round, but we also get a fire bonus now, which I think is going to have to start being god cards. Yep, because we might want to start looking to grab some of these in order to accumulate enough to achieve one of those tasks at some point in the future. So red or yellow, we do have both colours in the row. So very similar to Ticket to Ride, basically you get the option of choosing one of the face-up cards, or if you don't like the look of any of those, one blind from the top of the deck. However, I think we will grab the red one, place that there, and then a new one flips out to refill. So it's another green one. There is no limit to the number of cards you can have. Basically, you just keep accumulating them until you use them. And they do various things like allow you to go into spaces that were previously blocked off, or allow you to use people twice, or score fish points, or various other bits and pieces. Right, which means we've done our putting a priest out. We got the god card, part of our fire bonus, so we need a shell, I think. We can, yep, we can get a shell, and we'll get one more piece of jewellery from that, so that's fine. Yep, okay. So that was our entire action done. Now we come to sorting out the end stages of the turn, or the round. So activating people, well, we will definitely activate this woman first, who allows us to move over land to a value of 2. Well, we do have a value 2 space we want to move over, which is just here. So we'll place our hut there, and we'll get a a sand, which will go just there. Now we can activate our man, which allows us to build up to temple level 3. Well, we do have a level 2 we can build now. So these resources will come off. That will flip over. So we get another 10 points. We are still in the first 2 rounds, so we get maximum temple points. So we get 10 points for that, which is going to be up to 27. And another fire bonus. Right, so I think probably blind off the top of the stack now and hope for a red. Nope, it's a blue. Well, that's still pretty useful, so fine. And then we want a tattoo or a shell. Well, if we get one more shell, we could buy the nicest jewellery that's available currently, because they're all basically 1 or 2 shells worth. If we get a tattoo, we get to go first. Yeah, I think going first is probably a better option, actually. So we'll definitely do that. So we'll grab ourselves a tattoo and skip out the shell, which hopefully won't cost us too many points. Okay, so that was activating people. Excuse me a second. Okay, so that was activating people. Now we come to tattoos. So we are going to get 1 point for tattoos and regain first place, or going first anyway. Now priests, so we get 2 points for priest because appoint a priest and we have 2 of them, so that's fine, and we get the god tile as well, so reckon those up. And now we get our pick of jewellery. So the AI obviously going second doesn't impact our choice of jewellery and wouldn't care itself for getting jewellery, so it's fine, we'll just grab this one. So we get that one, and we have to give up a shell. Okay. And then we need to do tasks. So we have completed the task which requires us to have 4 offerings. We have them there. You don't have to spend them, you just have to show that you have them. So we have those 4 offerings, so that task is completed in its entirety, so we get 6 more points. Like so, tasks are very good if you can get yourself comboing into completing tasks reasonably easily, and it's not going to cost you a lot of stuff that you want to do otherwise. Tasks are a very good source of points in this game. But again, if it's not going to, if it doesn't flow well with the actions that you're currently doing, obviously they can be hard to achieve. But so far we're doing pretty well. So we've done the task, and we get to choose a new one. And I think given the fact that we have 2 temple levels built already, it's probably good to grab that one. Yeah, that's the best out of a reasonably poor bunch, unfortunately, so we'll grab that one, and we'll try to probably do one of these ones in the meantime while we work towards getting all 4 temple pieces out. So that's an idea anyway. Right, and that was that. So now we do a bit of cleanup. So again, I have to take off all the other people and then basically reset the various rows. So I think, given that we're looking to do temple tiles, it might be worth pushing that pretty heavily, because as a part of doing temple tiles you get fire bonuses, and the fire bonus allows you to grab more cards. So temple tiles will not also work for the temple tile task, but they'll also work towards hopefully getting the right god cards that we need for the red and the yellow tasks as well. So yeah, that could be something that's pretty good to work towards. Hopefully anyway, if we get the right values of dice anyway. So that was that, and we have new jewellery available. So unless we go heavily into shells now, we've only got 1 that we can possibly grab, which isn't bad, but obviously you don't get the higher points. so we'll see. Okay, so re-rolling dice. So that for the AI, and that's not too bad. That's a reasonable spread of numbers for us. So yeah, quite happy with that. So we need to go first, and if we're going to move over, if we're going to move over land, and probably try and grab that space there, that's going to give us a wood, which would be one of these spots. So can we get, we can get easily to where we can grab an ore, or a rock or a stone, or whatever that one is, as well. So we might want to do that. So the 5 and the 3 are probably going to be reserved for moving various places, which leaves the 4 with maybe miscellaneous actions, or hiring a person. Is there another person that we want to hire? So looking at the available people, well, that would be a constant source of shells, which would be good for getting jewellery. Other than that, there's no one that we really want to. And looking at tasks, let's have a quick look at tasks then before we get too ahead of ourselves. So that one is that particular type of jewellery, which is this, and we already have one of those available. So we can see that we have one we bought previously. So if we grab this one as well, we'll definitely get that task completed. We are on the way of having 9 huts out on the board, but that's not just yet, so we might hold off on that. We don't have any of those jewellery, and we don't have any people that corresponds to that task either, which is giving you offerings. So yeah, I think out of the tasks, this one is probably the best one, which means we don't really have to do anything particularly out of the way to achieve it. We just have to buy a piece of jewellery. So we might want to save this for miscellaneous actions, which would involve activating this person and getting some shells, which would allow us to buy some jewellery. So yeah, we'll probably do that. AI willing, of course. So first things first, we'll move across land. Or will we? Sorry, no, we won't move across land, we'll move across water. No, land works just as well. So moving across land with a 5. So we'll grab our next hut and we'll go across this gap here and grab ourselves a wood for that place, which can go there or there. If we're going to get a stone, either way, probably there is better. Kind of works. And it might be worth using, I was going to say it might be worth using a god card now, because the space we've occupied has a level 5 fish next to it, which means if you use a red god card, you will get that many fish points, which in this case is 5. Fish go up to 6, I believe. Yep. So 5 is, you know, pretty good, nothing to complain about too much. And you can use it only when you move into a space. So if you come along later and you want to spend a red god card, you have to move into a space in order to activate it. It's not a, I'm already in a space, let's grab some more points thing. Unfortunately, we need to save these cards because we want to try and achieve that task. So we can't spend them for points, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. Right, so we moved across, we've got our resource, so that is fine. So the air is going to come in with its 6, and it's going to go into action number 6, while there is no 6th action, action number 3. So it will try and hire a person. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, yep, it's a 3. So it's a man it's going to hire, and it will be this guy over here. The ability of the person doesn't matter, it's simply, in this case, how many tattoos they give the AI. So the AI will get 3 tattoos. Okay, I think we can beat that just about, so we might be fine. Or maybe not. We'll see. Right, so that was that. So we need to come with our 3 and do another movement now. So this time we'll go across water. So some of these actions are split in higher player count games. So obviously in a 3 to 4 player game, you can have these actions split. So basically you choose to do either a water route for an action or a land route for an action, and then hire a woman for an action or hire a man for an action. However, in a 2-player game, these are all accumulated, so basically you just do the action, which is either water or land, and man or woman in the same one. So we can do water in this case, that's fine, it's still the same area of actions. So we will come over there, and yep, so that's a level 3 die, which allows us to move across a level 2 water route, and we're going to get a stone for it. So we need to come and place that there. Yep, that seems fine, and again that would be an ideal spot to use our red god card for the fish bonus, but we cannot, so never mind. Okay, and then the AI is going to use its 4 die for action 1, which does not affect us in the slightest. Nope, we're fine, that's okay. And then we will come over and do miscellaneous actions. So miscellaneous actions basically is you take the value of the die, and that gives you that many points to spend on stuff. And I will explain stuff in a second. So we have 4 points to spend on doing certain things. And the certain things, again, are very handily laid out here. So you get a 1-to-1 for points of activating people or just getting yourself points. So we can spend 2 of our 4 points to activate both our man and our woman. And when you activate them, you slide them down. So this is a one-time only thing. Once they're slid down, that's it. They stay there. And you get, in this case for men, tattoos, and in the case of women, shells. So then you get 3 tattoos and 3 shells. So that, and 1, 2, 3, which will still not quite give us first place. So we might have to get another tattoo from somewhere. And then we have 2 points left over. So we've spent 2 of our 4 on doing those actions. So then on a 2-to-1 ratio, you get to move huts into your final hut space. So basically you clear out areas of your board and you shift them all down to your final space here, which allows you to put more people if you're going for lots of people. You get to pick up offerings or god cards and then resources. So we could basically do one of these because we have 2 extra points, so that would equate to one of these slightly more powerful options. So I don't really want to waste it on a card. I think a building resource is probably a better option. So more stone might be a good idea. Well, let's have a look. So we can easily get across to basically nothing, unfortunately, because that's a level 6 or a level 4 route, depending on if you go land or water. That's a level 6 route across there, and that's a level 5 route down here. So other places that we can build, which will get us more building resources for putting up temple tiles, are now in the higher values of dice, unfortunately. So basically that sandy beach is probably the easiest one to get to with a level 4 over water. So if we think we're going to get a sand in the near future, then we probably want a stone basically, or maybe a wood as our extra building resource. Yeah, probably a wood, I think. So that's what we'll get. So we'll spend 2 more points to get ourselves a piece of lumber, and then we can combo that with hopefully a sand when we build across the gap at some point, and that will be another building space that we can place a temple piece out onto. Okay, so thinking ahead slightly, hopefully. And that was all our points on the die used up, so now we are finished with our overall action. I need is the AI to come along, and number 4, it can quite happily go there, and it doesn't affect us in the slightest, so that is fine. Which means we are all done. So we need to activate people. So again, we're going to move over a land space of 2. Well, in this case, it's just a land space of 1 to come over to that spot, and we'll grab ourselves an offering. So reckon those up now. We don't need them, but fair enough. And we will build our temple area. So the only one we can build now is the lowest one, level 1. And that will go there. So now this guy, unfortunately, is of no more use to us unless we can combo him with someone else who does exactly the same thing, and then they can start building up to level 6. So we might have to try and hire someone who does that. Okay. We get the temple building bonus, which is only 7 points now. So we've moved on to the rounds 3 and 4, basically, where temples are worth 7, but priests are worth 2. And then in the final 5 and 6 rounds, temples are worth 4, and priests are worth 3. So we're going to get 7 points for the temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, and 3. Okay. And then we get the fire bonus again, which I think is probably going to have to be another blind card from the top. Ah, there's a red one. Okay, so we're well served with reds now. So we might need to get some yellows. And we need to get a tattoo or a shell. Well, we've got several shells, so we're okay on shells. But if we can grab one more tattoo, that would boost us just above the AI, and we would get first place still, which I think is exactly what we're going to do. So, yep. And now we come to phase C, which is tattoos and priests and the like. So the AI will get 2 points. Well, it doesn't, so that's fine. We will get 2 points. And continue being first, which is the ideal benefit we were going for. Priests, so we have 2 priests now, and we get 2 points apiece, so that's 4 points, up to 49. And then shells, jewellery. So we're going to buy this piece of jewellery to ideally coincide with that task tile, so that's what we'll do. We'll spend 1 shell to grab that jewellery. Leaves us with 2. Yeah, it's not too bad. We can make some purchases later on anyway. And then tasks. So we have just about managed this task tile. So we will get 6 points for that task tile, because we have the red god cards. You don't have to, again, give them up. You just have to show that you have them. In this case, it's giving your opponents insight as to what your hand contains, but there we go. So these are normally secret, you wouldn't get to see them, but obviously in a solo game I can quietly leave them out and not worry about it. So we've done that task, so that is going to be 6 more points, bring us up to 55, and then we get to pick a new one, and this one will easily be completed because we have the required jewellery, so we don't need to worry about it too much. And then that would give this one to work towards in the near future, and trying to get some yellow god cards for that one, I think. Ideally, anyway. And then everything needs resetting. So we're about halfway through. That was round 3, so yeah, move on to round 4, so about halfway through. And yeah, we do need to move out onto that sandy beach and get the building material for the temple, and maybe try and hire another man who allows us with his special ability to build temple tiles, because we can combo him and then not have to spend actions worrying about it. We can just do it as a matter of course at the end of each round. So that could be something to work towards. And there is a guy there who would work well, so we might try and hire him then. Okay. And looking at the new tasks, so that's another particular type of jewellery that we need. I don't believe we have any of it so far, so that's not worth going for. we do have one person who allows us to move over land. So maybe another person that allows us to move over land for that task tile. And then these are various fish spots of differing types. So I think it's manta rays. So you need 3 huts next to manta rays. We have 2 huts next to manta rays actually. So there and there. And the third one is down here. So maybe if we go across here we could get that task tile done as well. Or this one, which is this particular type of fish. So we've got one there, and the other 2 are, well, we're going to go into that spot anyway, which is the other one. So one there and then one over here. So we could set ourselves up for either of these 2 basically. So it might be worth looking at that then. Right. And the AI and ourselves need to roll dice. So we've got a 2, 3 and a 4. Right, so we definitely need to save the 4 to move over the water route, so 5. And the AI has a 2, 4 and a 6. So we basically need to jump in there right now. Yep, I don't see anything else that we can really do or save our dice for. So we'll jump in there right now with a 4 before it gets taken over. And we will grab moving across this water route. And we will occupy that beach and get ourselves the sand that we need. So probably there. I don't think it matters either way. So we'll do that. Right, so we have the building materials for our final temple anyway, for that task tile. So, okay, the rest is just bonus points basically. Fair enough. Right, that was that. So the AI needs to occupy space number 1 with its 6, which is fine, I think that's okay. And then we need to, so what tasks we got now? So we definitely got this one done. So we can basically leave these ones for another round at least. Okay. So in that case then, let's hire the person I said that was interesting, which is this guy here. So we can place him there, and basically that means now that when we come to activate men and women, these 2 guys will combo together as one action to give us temple building up to level 6 basically, so they double up their respective numbers. So before it was level 3, now it's level 6, which is nice. Unfortunately, I think this woman is pretty much obsolete now. Yep, there are no more land routes of level 2 that we can move across. So she is no further help, which might mean it's worth hiring another woman then. Because you can activate a man, or you can use a man and a woman when it comes to phase B. So not having a woman that you can use is basically wasting your actions every round. So was it worth coming here? Well, it's done now, but yeah, we might have to hire a woman pretty soon then. Anyway, up to the AI, which is going to do not option 6, it's going to do option 3. So it's going to take its 4, cannot place it here because the 2 is in the way, but it can come down and place it here, which is fine. Which leaves us with a level 3. So we're fine on task tiles. We're going to be able to build our temple tile there. So that's okay, we don't need to worry about that. So more movement maybe. Can we move across with a value of 1? A value of 3, sorry. Yeah, we can actually, we can do that. Which might be useful. So may as well do it now rather than save it till later. So yeah, we'll move across again. A water route this time of level 3, and we'll come over here and occupy this area, and we'll simply get ourselves an offering for doing that, which leaves the AI with option 4, which it can do, so that's fine, it will go there. Right, okay. So all the action's done. So again, activating people now, so we get to do both the men So we get to place our Temple of level 6 out. In that area there. So that would get us 7 points now, because we're in round 4. Up to 62, and we get a fire bonus. So I think now we'll start going for yellow god cards. So we'll grab that one. And a tattoo or a shell. And we need a new card out to fill the row. Right, okay. Tattoo or a shell. I think a shell probably. We're going to stay first, so we don't need to worry about tattoos too much. But a shell will be nice for buying some of the higher levels of jewellery. So yeah, we'll go for that. Okay, and then we can't use the woman, so unfortunately no use to us, but there we go. So we need to do tattoos. Well, we don't get any points for tattoos, but we stay first, which is fine. Priests, we are going to get 4 points for priests. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. And jewellery, we could buy some jewellery. It's kind of all or nothing now, basically. We've got 3 shells, so even if we buy the lowest jewellery for 1 shell, we're still not going to have enough for these ones. So we may as well spend all 3 and hopefully get some more shells back later on. No, we'll spend, I guess we'll still spend 1 shell. So we'll spend 1 shell and we'll get the lowest jewellery. Simply because if you're savvy enough to get enough shells out during the game and buy a piece of jewellery each round, you get bonus points. So 6 pieces of jewellery gives you 6 bonus points at the end of the game. So ideally, it's better to try and possibly buy some jewellery each round rather than just going for big purchases, but you do get more points per shell for big purchases of jewellery. Well, I think we'll stick with that. We'll stick with that and we'll grab the lowest points jewellery we can. Hopefully we'll have enough for next round to buy some more jewellery then. And that will work well. It will work out at about an even spread of points, I suspect, over the 2 options. So we'll go for that anyway. We'll see how that works. So we need to do tasks. Well, we definitely have that one done. So we have that piece of jewellery there and that piece of jewellery there, so they equate to the task being completed. So that is another 6 points for that task, up to 72. Okay. And then we get first pick of the new ones, and they're all not that great, I don't think. We can probably complete this one slightly easier. Yeah, so this one is basically three huts next to stingray fish spots. And we have 1 hut there for that one, 1 hut there for that one. So basically the 3rd hut we need is over here. And we can hopefully pretty easily get to it. Maybe next round, we'll see. Failing that, we have the 4 temple tiles we need for that task anyway, so that's fine. And then a bit of cleanup. So now we want to ideally grab ourselves in the next round probably 1 yellow god card, or move across to that wooded area and grab that area for scoring a task tile. And we also want to probably grab a woman to give us a benefit at the end of the round. So we're making the best use of all our available people. So, I don't know if we're going to have enough actions to do all of that, but we'll see. And then, yeah, grab some shells to buy jewellery, and we're okay on priests, so about priests is the only thing we are okay on at the moment. And I just realised that I should have been grabbing the purple god tiles. I think I've skipped a couple. So we should have had one. Yeah, we should have had one last round and this round. We were the only people in the temple at the time, so no one else could have taken them. That's fine. There's no qualms about redoing that, so that's fine. That should be everything set up. So we are still first, so we get to go first. Okay. So we need basically at least a 4 or a 5 to get over to that wood there. So that's the AI, and we have 2 6s and a 4. So we might actually find ourselves getting blocked off from certain spots at the moment. May very well actually. Well, we'll go with the 4, and we'll go over this land route now. So that will be the hut over there. So we get ourselves a wood for doing so. Probably there. Well, only place we can put it, so that's fine. And then the AI is going to go to space 2 with its 4. Well, it can't go there, so it can go there. Which is unfortunate, because that's the option that we were going to pick to grab ourselves another woman. Right, can we use a card in order to help ourselves then? So we could play a blue god card. So blue god cards basically allow you to place a die, even if there is a higher, even if there is a lower one blocking your placement, and it will simply be put in there, and then it will still be a whatever value you placed it as. So that's fine. We could do that, which means, so if that's going to be hiring a person, then this one is going to be activating people and getting resources. Yeah, I think that's probably that way around. So if we place the 6 there, and we spend the blue god card to do it, so it just goes in a discard, and we have to combine it with an offering. So you can't just use the cards, you have to combine them with offerings. So basically you need a reasonable supply of cards and offerings. So now we can hire a person, and I think we definitely want to go for a woman to get us various bits and pieces. So looking at the new tasks available, 3 women, all different abilities, is definitely not going to happen, I don't think. We don't have enough resources now to get the task for the 3 wood. We have 1 of the green god cards, so we could do that task, but we definitely have 5 huts out on the board, so probably that one. Yeah, that one definitely. So we're fine for tasks, assuming we stay first anyway, which means I think maybe well, actually, we could. So if we grab another woman who allows us to move across land, she will now combo with our previous woman to allow us to move across land spaces of 4 rather than just 2, which won't help us just yet, but may very well help us in the future. Failing that, the other alternative is to grab a woman who allows us to hire other women, basically. Which we could well do, or grab a woman which allows us to hire other men. No one that looks particularly... Actually, yes, we will grab a woman that allows us to hire other men, because one of the men that she can hire is this guy over here, which allows us to move across water, and there is an available water route to move across. So sure, do that. But if we're using him, we're not using the guys that allow us to build temple tiles. Actually, slight change of plans. I think we'll grab the woman that allows us to get building resources, because we are starting to... We have only got 1 space left where we can get stone, and then that is all the building resources we can get from placing huts. We then have to get them in other means. So this person here who allows us to get extra building resources will probably help us with that greatly. Hopefully more than the other people would anyway. So yeah, a bit of a trade-off, trying to figure out the best way to do it, but I think that's probably a good idea. Or at least it's the one we're going with, so yeah. Right, so that was hiring a person. So she will go there, and the AI will put someone in space level 3, so it's 4 die cannot go to space level 3, so it will go there, which again is going to mess us up because that's where we wanted to go next. Because we need to shift these guys down to get tattoos and shells and some more building resources. So we'll have to spend another blue god card, so we're getting through them. Hopefully there's no task that requires them in the near future. And now we can place our 6 die out and get ourselves, so we'll push him down for 1 point and her down for a point, so that's 2 points of our 6 used, and we're going to get ourselves 2 shells and 3 tattoos, like so. So we have 4 points left. Well, I think one of them is definitely going to have to be a building resource, so we'll grab ourselves a stone and place it there. Yep, okay. And then we have 2 points left. We really need one more yellow god card, but again we're going to be able to get cards from building temple pieces. So, one more resource? No, I think we're okay using her for the resource, that's fine. So maybe just 2 more points then. Yep. So an option you can do is converting dice points into score points, so that's what we'll do. We'll spend the last 2 of our dice points to simply get ourselves 2 more points on the board. So, fair enough. And that was our final activation, and the AI will come along to space number 2 and park itself there, which is fine. So, using people now, so we can again build a temple of level 6 now. Well, we've got one of level 5, so that's fine. Happily do that. So we'll get ourselves, what are we now? 4 points for temple pieces. So we're into round 5, so 4 points for temple pieces. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And the fire bonus, which I think is going to be a blind card from the top and hopefully yellow. Nope, it's a white one, but not too bad. And then a tattoo or a shell. So we're okay on tattoos. We're not going to miss out on first place for not having enough tattoos, so that's fine. So I think an extra shell is probably a good idea now. That's okay. And then if we activate this woman here to get us a building material, and we'll grab a sand, because we can move into one final space giving us a rock or a stone. So those will go well together for putting out this final temple piece. So that's good. That was people. So tattoos, we're going to get 2 points for tattoos. So up to 80. And 6 points for priests now. So priests start to be worth quite a few points now. They're worth 3 apiece. So we're going to get 6 points for priests. And I will not forget to award myself a god tile this time. And then we want to do tasks. No, sorry, we skipped a bit. We want to do jewellery. So we could now buy, well, technically we have enough shells to buy that piece of jewellery, but I think saving some for the final round is probably a good idea. So we'll buy the slightly cheaper jewellery, but still fairly expensive, for 3 shells. And that will go in our jewellery area. Okay, so we have 2 left over, which means we can definitely buy at least the lowest piece of jewellery, maybe a slightly higher one if we get a few more shells. And then we need to do tasks. So we have, let's have a look. So this one is definitely done, as is this one. So these 2 are fine. I think we'll just go for this one. So we have 4 temple tiles built, technically 5, but enough to satisfy the conditions anyway. So we'll get ourselves 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. And then we know that this one is definitely done, so we can at least do that one next turn, if nothing else, and maybe have to satisfy that one with a god card, we'll see. Because we don't have enough yellows at the moment, and short of going through the entire deck, there's no guarantee that you're ever going to get any yellows, since none have come out in the card row. So, yeah, okay. And we need to pick a new task, so... yeah, definitely the huts one, that's fine. That's one that's definitely completed, so we don't have to worry about doing that one either. And then a final reset, or reseeding of the board. So these can all come off. And then we put a couple more out. So the final round, so basically we're looking to do... we want to do our final movement over here to get ourselves into that area, which will give us the building resource for our final temple tile. And we may very well have to go through quite a few god cards in order to get enough options so we have 2 yellow god cards for that final task as well. We have enough shells for jewellery, so we're not too worried about that. Okay, so we'll see how the dice go anyway. So 2 5s and a 6. We may very well get blocked out of doing certain actions here. There's a 5 for the AI. So right. So if we get in with our yeah, I think we're definitely going to get blocked out here. If we get in with our 6 quickly then, and do what? We have no more blue cards, unfortunately, so we cannot go around the AI if it blocks a space off, which is probably going to be a bit of a pain, actually. So what do we definitely have to do? We definitely have to build, I think, is number 1 priority. Apart from that, spending points into picking up god cards is something we could look towards, but it's not number 1, I think. More priests for more end of game, more end of round points is also nice, but again, not number 1 priority. I think, yeah, definitely we want to move across with our 5 value die. Not that one, sorry, that one. And we'll get our hut out across this waterway here into that spot there. And we'll grab ourselves the stone that we need. So that's fine, we've done that. AI is going to come along and take a person, which means they want to 1 to 3 is going to be this man here, and it's going to give them 3 tattoos. Like so. Yep, that's fine. Which leaves us with, so now we could probably do that, and we don't really need to activate anybody, so can't activate anybody for more tattoos or shells, but we can get more cards. So basically we could do 3 card draws, which we might very well do. So first one is not a yellow, second one is a yellow. Okay, so we've got the 2 yellow cards now that we need for that task, so that's fine. Which means we have all our tasks done. So looking at the ones that we can do for the final drawing, we pretty much, yeah, that one is the only one that we can successfully complete. Yes, I think so. Okay, so the AI will now come along and do number 4. So it got there slightly too late to stop us, but there we go. Which means we are left with a value 5. Can't do another movement. Could build a temple tile, but we're going to leave that up for our guys to do for us. That's fine. Yeah, priest it is then. Okay. So, out there for points later. And we get a fire bonus, so we may as well grab ourselves... I guess we could do a god card of our choosing. Well, yeah, we'll pick a god card of our of a random draw from the top, so it's a blue one. A bit late now, but there we go. And then a tattoo or a shell. So 1 more shell. Yes, 1 more shell. plus the extra one we're going to get for building the temple will give us 4 shells, and that will give us this nice piece of jewellery up there. Assuming the AI doesn't take it from us first. Well, okay, there we go then. We'll have to see. Right, there's nothing we can do about it with tattoos anyway, so that's fine. And the AI is going to come along for its final action and also do a priest, so it can't do that one, it will skip across to doing a priest. So it will place it in spot number 2, there. A bit late to the priest party, but there we go. And that was all the actions. So a final end of round phase, so we need to activate people. We're going to activate our final temple spot, which will get us 4 points. Where are we up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4. And a fire bonus, which is going to be, well, another blind card, I think. Another yellow, drowning in yellows now. And another piece of jewellery. And then we need to activate... we don't get any bonus points for leftover building materials. There's no point using this woman. And there are no more land spaces at level 2 we can go with, so there's no point using that one, so won't use the woman, that's fine. We don't get any points for tattoos, and unfortunately we do get relegated to 2nd place. So the AI now will... Well, let's get 9 points first for our priests. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 there. So, and we have the most priests in the temple, so we get the god tile. Which means the AI is now going to come along and take a random piece of jewellery. So again, 1 to 4, top to bottom. 3 is fine, we're not going to bother with that, so that's okay. Which means we can buy the jewellery that we did want for 4 shells. Okay, and then they're going to take a random task off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Yep, that's okay. That's having 5 shells. We've just spent all our shells, so we weren't going to go for that one either. Which means... we should be completing a task first. Well, we may as well do this one, which requires us to have the 2 yellow god cards, because we have more than enough now in our available area. So that one is completed for 6 points. Up to there, and then grab ourselves this one over here, which is 3 huts on all the sandy beach spots, that's fine. And you may be asking why this is relevant now, because we've come to the end of task rounds basically, but you do get a final chance for end of game scoring to activate tasks. So I think we're done with, got our 6 points for tasks, yep. So we've come to the end of the regular rounds, and now we do some final end of game score. So again, it's very handily depicted on your board. So for every god tile you still have left and that you haven't spent, you get 2 points. So we got all of them, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we got all 7. Our starting one plus the 6 from the various rounds. So we get 14 points to 125. Next up is fish points. So basically, in a regular game, when people move into an area, if there is a hut in the prime building location, it will get shift out and the newcomer's hut will get placed in that area. So basically, whoever's hut is left in the prime spot at the end of the game will get the relevant fish points. So we have almost all of them. Just missed out on that last one, unfortunately, but never mind. So we get 1, 2, 3, 7, 10, 11, 16, 18, 23, 26, and 32. I think my maths is correct. Yeah, I think that's right. So 32 points worth of fish. So 25 to... Boy, maths is tedious. 25 to 55, and extra 2 will be 157. Yep, if that is incorrect, feel free to pull me up on it in the comments, because yeah, doing maths is a bit hard sometimes. But anyway, so that was all our fish points. Now we tally up all our jewellery and we score individual points for those. So we have 7 there, plus 5 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 18. So that was slightly easy to do. So we want 1, 2, 3, 5 to make it 8, and then 18 would be 75. Right, so 175. And then we do collections of stuff. So basically you get 6 points as a default if you've managed to accumulate the maximum of something. So, oh, I again skipped a bit. I'll come back to that in a second. So basically we have 6 jewellery tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. So we get 6 more points to 181. We have all of our spots filled in on our we have not all of our spots filled in our temple track by building materials. We do, however, have all of our... Is it? Yeah, I think it's separate. Must be separate. So that would be all of your spots filled in with building materials. We do, however, have all 6 spaces filled in with temple tiles. So that's another 6 points. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that may very well be all 12 spaces filled in either by building materials or temple tiles, and then if you are fortunate enough to have all 6 temple tiles, that would be an extra 6 points. Funnily enough, out of all the games I've played, it's never actually come up where anyone has ever completed their temple with either building materials or temple tiles. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it must be having all building spaces filled either with materials or temple tiles will get you 6, and then having all temple tiles will get you a further 6. So I think that's how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll give myself 6. If it is incorrect, again, give me a shout, let me know, and I will amend it. But there we go. And then having all 12 huts out on the area gives you 6. We were shy by 1 hut, unfortunately, but there we go. And then having all 12 spaces on your persons area filled in by persons will also get you 6. We were nowhere clear on that, so that's fine. So we don't get any points for that. And then the bit that I missed was you get an additional chance to score tasks. So once you've done round 6 and you've finished and you've got your new task in, you then have a chance to score your 3 remaining tasks, and you get points for them as normal. So this one is 3 huts on sandy beaches for 6 points, which we have 1 there, 1 over there, and then 1 down there. So that is going to be a further 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. So that one is completed. This one is huts in stingray spaces. So we have 1 there, 1 over here, and then 1 down there. So that's those 3 done. So that's another 6 points for 205. And then finally 5 huts out in total, where we've got plenty more than that. So that's another 6 points for that task. And then the bit that I missed out when it comes to bonuses is if you have all 9 tasks completed, so this is how you can get 9 tasks completed within only 6 rounds. So if you have 9 tasks done, you get another 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, and that is it. So a final score of 217. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable to me. Basically, the solo version is simply, go ahead, tally up a score, and then try and better it in future games. But yeah, that was a solo game of Bora Bora. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.